All right, we'll go ahead and get started if that's okay. So this is a regular design review board meeting of the city of Milton. I am Ken Warlick. This is a 7-member board appointed by the city of Milton mayor and city council, which was created for the purpose of holding public hearings and making recommendations. The design review board reviews plans and makes recommendations to the community development director for developments in the form-based code and overlay districts except for single-family residential. In addition, the design review board approves and denies demolition requests and shall make design recommendations to the Board of Zoning of Appeals on variance cases. So getting that out of the way, we'll move on. I'd like to ask everyone to rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank y'all so much. So next, I would like to introduce our staff members and then also our board members, please.
Rima Abdel Fattah, Planner 1.
Natalie Henderson, Rural Designer.
Welcome, Natalie.
Thank you.
Samia Coker, Cheltenham Walk.
Ralph Devia, Bethany Road.
Celeste Jackson, Saddle Springs Drive.
Ken Warlick, Hipworth Road.
Danielle Gagney, Morning Mountain Way.
David Jackson, Bethany Way.
And Danella, Haybridge Lane.
All right, great. So to start off tonight, we have got to go through the motions annually like we do. And the first is going to be the election of chair and a vice chair. So with that being said, we'll go ahead and start with the chair of the Design Review Board. Do we have any nominations from the board?
I'll nominate Ken Warlick.
I
Your
will
chair?
second that.
All right. Any discussion?
You.
All right.
Anybody else want to do it?
Okay. Seeing we have no discussion, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor of Ken Warlick being the chair again for the Design Review Board?
Aye.
It's unanimous. All right. Congrats, Ken. All right. Next up, we will need to, can I get a motion to elect a vice chair for the Design Review Board?
I'll make a motion to elect a vice chair, David Jackson.
I'll second.
All right. Any discussion? No? Okay. So we have a motion and a second for David Jackson as vice chair for the Design Review Board for 2026. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. It's unanimous. Congrats.
Thanks.
Thank you, board.
Just don't miss.
All right. So moving on, we'll do approval and amendment of the agenda for tonight. Can I get a motion for approval or amendment to tonight's agenda?
I will make a motion to approve tonight's agenda.
I'll second.
All right, so we have a motion for approval and a second for tonight's January 6th agenda for the Design Review Board. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. So passes. Next, we'll do a motion for approval of the meeting minutes from the December 2nd, 2025 Design Review Board meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from December 2nd.
I'll second.
All right, we have a motion for approval and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. We're ready to get down to business. So we'll start off 6A, which is demolition of structures, 16495 Phillips Road.
Good evening, board and DRB members. Happy New Year. Happy 2026.
Good evening, Rima. How are you?
Good, thank you. Okay, so first up for demolition review, we have 16495 Phillips Road. And the applicant is here tonight, Mr. Marty Anker. The request is to demolish the existing 2-story house, 1-story house, an outbuilding, a barn, a shed, and the gravel and concrete walkways and all the fencing on the site. It's zoned AG1. It's approximately 6.06 acres. Existing use is residential. And here is an aerial view just north of Mountain Road and west of Hopewell. Here is the site plan. And here's a close-up of the site plan, and I've circled all the structures to be demolished in red. So the applicant is proposing a new single-family residence, and that will be approximately 6,647 square feet. It will have a porte cochere. Aerial photos of the structures. So here's a photo of the one-story house, and I'll just give you a little background. So this property contains several structures. The two-story frame house was built in 1969. It's approximately 1,280 square feet. The one-story house, which I'll show you, it was also constructed in 1969. That's about 768 square feet. None of the structures on this site are designated historic under City of Milton ordinance or state or federal preservation guidelines. So the two-story house. And these are the additional structures, the shed, the barn, and the outbuilding. So again, none of these structures are listed in the Georgia Historic Resources GIS or the City of Milton's historic survey list. The property is not located in a flood zone. No trees will be removed during the demolition process. And if any trees are removed, they'll acquire a permit. So staff does recommend approval of the demolition per the site plan with the following conditions: complete the demo permit application, level and grass the area that will be disturbed, and then no trees to be removed without a permit. Any questions?
Rima, can you go back to the proposed site plan if you don't mind?
Yes.
Where in correlation to this, well, I guess I can ask the applicant, because this doesn't show the power line easement going through here that the demolition plan shows. Obviously, that's something that the city, I'm sure, would catch, but I just want to make sure. Because it looks like the power line, 30-foot power easement goes
Yep.
right through where the new proposed house. Maybe I'll just ask the applicant. that
Yeah, I
question.
don't believe this is the actual building site plan. I think this was just for the demolition permit purpose to show where the new proposed home will go. But
Okay.
yeah, the applicant's here,
Yeah,
you can
irrelevant
ask
to-
him.
to the demo, but I just was curious.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, so-
definitely.
Okay. Any more questions for staff? No? Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
So at this time, we'd ask the applicant to come up if you have anything further to add to that. Maybe you can answer my question about the power easement? Good evening.
Good evening. I'm Marty Anchor with Anchor Custom Homes. Nice to see you all. Thanks for being here. I don't really have anything to add. Rima did such a terrific job of all of those details. You were right, Ken. There is an old power line that bifurcates the property right in the middle of the house footprint. So we've been working with Sony EMC to get those removed and relocate the power. So
Yeah.
that'll be part of our building permit application.
Got it, okay. All right, thank you for that
You bet.
clarification.
Any other questions?
Any other questions for the applicant? No? Thank you very much, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Seeing no more questions for the applicant, I will open up for any public comment.
We have no public comment.
So then I will close public comment. Any board discussion? No? Okay. Seeing no discussion, I will call for a motion.
I'll make a motion.
First one of the year.
I'll make a motion to approve the demolition of all structures on item 6A, 16495 Phillips Road.
I'll second.
All right, so we have a motion for approval and a second. All those in favor? Aye. All right, it's unanimous. Good luck. Thank you. All right, moving on. 6B, 13365 Cogburn Road.
Okay. 13365 Cogburn Road. The applicant is Frank Esparza. They are requesting to demolish an existing single-family home, a well house, and a detached garage. The site is 1.42 acres, zoned AG1 and residential. Here's an aerial view. And here is the site plan. And a close-up of the site plan. So here are some photos of the one-story house. The front, the rear, the sides. And a little background. This home was built in 1965. It's approximately 1,362 square feet. The detached garage was built in 1980, and that's about 576 square feet. And then it has the well house on the property. And then none of these structures carry a historic designation under City of Milton ordinances or state or federal preservation guidelines. Here's the detached garage and the well house. So the property is also not located in a flood zone. No trees to be removed during the demolition process. Staff does recommend approval of the demolition per the site plan with the following conditions: to complete the demo permit application, level and grass the area that is disturbed, and then no trees to be removed without a permit. Any questions?
I don't think so. Thank you, Rima. All right, just like before, we'd ask the applicant to come forward if they have anything to add to that. Good evening, sir.
Hey, good evening. I'm Frank Esparza. I don't have anything else to add to it.
Okay. She did that good of a job, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Staff is on it, so. All right, great. Any questions for the applicant? No? All right, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Seeing no questions for the applicant, we'll open up public comment.
We have no public comment.
We'll close public comment. Any board discussion? No? All right. Seeing no discussion, I'll make a motion to approve the demolition at 13365 Cogburn Road.
I'll second.
We have a motion for approval and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, unanimous. Good luck. Thank you. All right, now for the fun one. So tonight, 7A, courtesy reviews. U25-03/VC25-01, 1301 Morris, or 0 Morris Road, and the tax parcels that follow. I'm not going to read all those numbers.
First, I'd like to just say Happy New Year, and hopefully everybody had a good holiday. The weather's certainly been cooperating with us so far, so, but it's hard to believe it's 2026. It's incredible, isn't it?
You say that one's going to be almost 80 degrees tomorrow, but then almost 20 degrees
I know.
on Monday.
You
Distorted,
realize
right?
the city's 20 years old. I mean, the years have gone by, and it's almost incredible to realize how far we've come as a city. You know, it's if you really look back at it, it's pretty great story. We're here tonight to talk about the Deerfield Corporate Center. Just really short history. You know, this is in the Destination Deerfield implementation plan. You've all helped with that. Appreciated all that input, and I think we've come a long way. And this is actually the first application of many that are going to be coming in. We do have a lot of interest in this. This is in the South Deerfield sub-district, which is our most commercialized and dense sub-district. So if you look at the regulating plan, you'll see The darkest purple is showing that South Deerfield area, which is the T6. And that's really where we're anticipating most of the office and commercial to occur. Of course, as you go up Highway 9, it transitions to like a T5, which will be more retail and neighborhood oriented, and then it goes up to T4, which is further up. So just to give you a quick background again. So now when you're looking at this particular site, it's a 25-acre site on Webb, Morris, and Deerfield. It's the site that has the 2 existing 6-story office towers on it that are currently vacant or mostly vacant at this point. And I just want the board to remember that this is just really part of the bigger puzzle within this sub-district, because we have the, on the left side of this, on my screen here, we have the new city park that's going in. Just on the other side of that is going to be the Fry's redevelopment. On the right side of the screen is the, I call it the H building. It's a 67-acre site that's gonna get redeveloped. To the other side of the pond, there's the Verizon site, which is coming in with several concepts and will be redeveloped as well. They're selling the property. So there's a lot going on in this area. And when we looked at this from the implementation plan and from the community feedback, we didn't want any one particular site to be like like the size of an Avalon and with that kind of density. We really looked at this as a one piece of multiple parcels within the puzzle. So when we look at this, it's really the collection of all of these developments that eventually will occur that will give us like a much more rural look to the build outs. And when we studied it, we realized that the only way to reactivate this district was to do mixed-use developments. And mixed-use developments is when you have multiple uses within a development. So the idea of a corporate center is no longer valid. Having a corporate park, so to speak, they're just dead across the whole country, and it's really just not. It's not a scenario that really works anymore. So what happens is we found that you really have to do a mix of uses. They want to have some multifamily, some retail, some lofts, some townhouses, and with a primary focus on the office, rejuvenating that office. We have over 200,000 square feet, 260,000 square feet of unused office here, so it's considerable 6-story buildings. So I think overall, when you're looking at this, you have to look at it as one piece of the big puzzle. And then the other thing, just a reminder that we got back from the community and all the feedback, because this was very community driven. If you remember, 100% of whatever I propose is all from the community meetings we had, and what they wanted was they really wanted sort of some integration of like, what do we get out of this as a community? Right. And I think that needs to be answered, because what we did when we did the code rewrite was we said, look, we're going to give some incentives to the developers. If they increase their open space from 10 to 20% of the whole lot as open space, and usable open space, not just designated off to the side where it's like, isolated. It had to be integrated with the retail so that we really get the best use of it from the public standpoint. And we also said, look, another incentive would be trails, a boardwalk that people can do. So we designed a trail plan, if you remember, for the whole district. And then each piece of the puzzle as it comes in, each development has to incorporate, if they want those incentives, which they're really all taking advantage of because it's just really helping out. They have to come in with that connectivity of the trail, and the trail has to have a trailhead. It has to have parking, has to have bathroom facilities in order to get those credits. So that really works. And not that they really needed to do it, but they also offered in the plan, which you're about to see, a 2,500 square foot civic building in there, which they're going to, basically have the city rent for like $1 a year. So at no cost to the city, they're going to build and construct this. And because we really wanted, staff really wanted a civic presence in each one of these developments. I'd like to see some sort of civic presence to really keep Milton on the map, show the public when they come in to utilize these spaces that there is something there, like maybe a Milton Museum, a Milton Visitor Center. You know, we could decide, right? The city could decide whatever it wants to use it for, but the applicant is giving us the overall building shell for those uses. Let's just go to the next one. Okay. So when looking at the site plan, the buildings up on the top on Webb Road, those are going to be retail with some lofts above. And all the entrances to this site are existing, so we're not making any new cut-throughs or entrances. On the left is 20 townhomes, and they basically abut the existing townhomes. So the people in those townhomes, when they look out, they're not going to see any new retail development around. They'll just see another townhome kind of facing them, and the front of those townhomes really face the neighbor so that they get the best views. The 2 office towers are in blue, and then you have everything internal. The dark blue is the Civic. The other colors are restaurants and retail. There's a total of 25,000 square feet of retail that's shown here. And as you could see on the top, that's external facing retail. So when you're on Webb, we did want some retail there. Now, that side of Webb Road is where the city currently is constructing the new Greenway connection. So Public Works has been acquiring that property and constructing that sidewalk.
Can you point that out on the map
No,
as
sorry.
you're talking about it?
Yes. So right up here on Webb, can you see that cursor?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So this is going to be a trail that goes all the way through here, and that's going to be part of the new Greenway trail that Sarah's been working on pretty diligently, and Rob Del Ross, Public Works. And so this is like sort of an external facing retail, which will complement the other retails that we're looking to do along Highway 9. So we are getting some of that. But the most concentration here is inward facing retail. And that's really important because the inward facing retail is where most of the open space has been allocated. So people will be able to go there. The public would be able to go there at night, you know, go to a restaurant, use the green parks, have the kids run around. You know, there's trails. Now, if you remember, we're designing and contemplating all the way from Crooked Creek down to this district, this sub-district here, golf cart paths. So somebody that lives in Crooked Creek or anywhere along that whole Highway 9 umbilical area would be able to get into a golf cart and eventually end up here, spend the evening, go out, enjoy it. Now, the other thing is, if you see on the southern side here, which is down here,
And
and along this little area here, what we're doing is we're also putting some retail down there because we want this to connect this sidewalk here, which the applicant is also doing for the city. He's going to put some parallel parking along that road and that new sidewalk boardwalk connection, which will do 2 things. One, it will emphasize the lake so people can enjoy that lake. There's a beautiful lake there that most people in Milton don't even know exists or enjoy. So they'll be able to do that. And once we get the Verizon property set, it's also going to link to the Verizon property. Is there a way we can get this back?
So we can get
So you could see it will connect here. And then when we design the Verizon property, we're also talking to them about making some feature here that would then sort of bookend both of these sites so that people would be able to really connect the two and kind of walk those sites and use it. So pedestrian circulation in this whole district is really primary, and that's what we're really looking to achieve. Now, we're here because we need a courtesy review on the fact that they're putting in some multifamily, and that requires a use permit. So that has to go in front of council for review and approval. So I just want to remind this board that multifamily has always, since the start of the city, has always had a multifamily component envisionment in this area. It was always in there. We never, as part of this plan, we did not increase any densities at all across the board. There were no density increases. So we're still working on the original City of Milton density plan. We are doing some incentives for public amenities that would then change ratios a little bit, right? So instead of 50-50, it might go to 57-43 or, one of those kinds of ratios, which they all comply with. In fact, they're not really hitting and utilizing the max ratios, which was nice to see that we could do all of this. The multifamily, the applicants here, they're going to get into much more detail, but there's 2 buildings of 70 on that. So they have 2 buildings here on the bottom here, 2 buildings of 70. And they've kind of strategically placed the parking throughout. We don't have a parking structure, but because we have a lot of existing parking there now, with all the mature trees and everything's been there for a long time, and it's really kind of a nice feel when you're in there. And we're trying to reuse all of that so that we're not just going in and clear cutting and doing a mass grading of the site. We're really reutilizing a lot of what's there to keep that mature landscape screening. So even along Morris, there's a lot of mature landscaping there that we're going to maintain as part of this, and we'll probably condition. But the applicants already agreed to really work hard to maintain all of this. It's kind of nice. The applicant is the owner. I just want you to know, I'll probably talk to you a little bit tonight, but I want to say I think it's always important when we have somebody who owns a piece of property for many years, has been part of Milton for many years, and says, okay, Bob, I want to come in now and I'm going to redevelop and enhance and improve my property, and I still want to own it. It's a little bit different. I'm always a little bit more apprehensive when somebody from outside comes in and says, I'm just going to buy it. I have a company in California and I'm looking to just develop it and kind of get out. I'm going to flip this thing. This applicant is really here long term, which I thought was a really nice thing. And as a result, we asked the applicant, similar to downtown Crabapple, if they would just construct all the buildings simultaneously. So I don't have to worry about concurrency and somebody coming in and just building the housing and then leaving and not building the retail. You'd be surprised. Right? And they've agreed to that. So I think that's a very important point there as well. The parking variance that is part of this use permit is something that staff actually asked for. So the applicant actually came in with a site plan that meets the parking requirements. There's just a lot more parking. And we looked at it and talked to the applicant and said, do you really need all this parking? And he said, no, we really don't need that much parking. And I said, well, then why are we, it's like the Target shopping center. It's just overparked. It's never full. Actually, it looks bad because it looks like it's empty. It looks like nobody's in there. And we're just paving more than we need. So it was staff that really initiated this and asked the applicant if they would put in for a variance to reduce the number of parking spaces. Normally, we give a 10% reduction as part of the code, and this represents, the variance represents like an additional 10% on what that requirement is. And the applicant will go through all the numbers and talk to you about all of that stuff. But we thought it was a good thing. If for some reason council says, oh, we don't want a variance, they'll just give us back the other one, which is just much more heavily parked. But I think having more open space, more green space, lends itself to a better character and a more rural kind of atmosphere on what we're doing here in Milton. So everything you see here is consistent with the urban design manual. But for tonight, we are going to show you some renderings of some of the buildings. So I want to tell the board that every new building in this development will come back to you. We'll come back. We'll come back to you. Thinking I should know, right? I designed it. It will come back to you for review and approval. So individually, all the retail, even the townhouses, the lofts, everything has to come back to you for review and approval. But specifically, I would like to get some input on the multifamily architecture tonight, if you could, because I think that's really important when we go to council. I think the architecture, even though they're not really reviewing it for architecture, I think architecture will play a really important role in their decision making. And if it looks really nice and gives it that Milton feel and all, it's just going to make their decision a little bit easier. They're not fighting the look and feel of the architecture. So if you can zoom in a little bit on that tonight when he shows it, I'd like a lot of input from y'all on what you think and changes we need to make.
Is this site plan, is it concrete? Like, can things be moved? I know most of it's not built yet. Those two buildings are there currently.
Yes.
Do the townhouses have to go there? Does the retail have to go at that
Okay,
entrance?
so when we looked at this, that's a great question. We wanted to put the townhouses adjacent to the other townhouses so that they would reflect like a mirror to one another. If I lived in those townhouses, I'd like to look outside and see another set of townhouses. The multifamily, we strategically put it on Morris Road. It was quiet. It had existing landscape screening, and we wanted it to be zoned a little bit away from the activity center of the retail. So the office will feed into the activity center, and the public will be coming in using the activity center and the stores up in the front. So we sort of put like a loop road around it, and to kind of keep that activity center really somewhat isolated. But if you look at the plan, it still has what Tracy described as like an axis, right? An axis or a visual that runs down. So
We can actually show it. So from the entrance of Deerfield, this axis here runs through the property. And it's nice because this green space here in front of the existing office buildings, this green, when you view this from this axis, it terminates to a green here at the back of the multifamily. Likewise, the external retail facing along Webb Road is a continuation of the retail from the Target area. So the placements of these items on the concept plan is intentional and justified with the other adjacent areas or uses that are in the area.
right. And the other two corners, one of them has a small shopping center gas station kind of thing on the right.
Right, that's right.
On this side, and the other side has a gas station there as well. So we wanted everybody to have like kind of a nice visual. So when you're living in the multifamily, you sort of look out and get to really enjoy the median that's in Morris, landscape medians, and the existing landscape, and it's kind of softer and rather than putting it up against a commercial. So that was our thinking on what we did. Now, there is one other thing. Can you show the restraint of the?
I can.
And all of this is
Let me
already
just-
connected to existing sewer? So there's
Yeah,
no running
let's-
new
That's
sewer?
what I show you.
Okay,
I'm going to
great.
show you that now. So that's a good question. Thanks, David.
You know, that comes up
You're
a lot.
awesome. You're just right there. So
Too much credit.
Yeah.
no, he's doing pretty good. So, and I appreciate it. So the dark blue is showing the existing sewer easements that are on the property, which was another huge restraint that I'm sure the applicant will talk about when he gets up. But it really kind of limited, where we could place things, because you could see it's running right through that parking area and it's running right through that other parking area. And it sort of gives them it is a lot of restraints. Those are all high pressure sewer lines and easements. So it's sort of like we were trying to work around that and zone the site in such a way that we thought everything would be appropriate, like the office is really enjoying and utilizing that public amenity area and the activity area of retail, and to be able to walk around that whole area and then have the public come in, and if they're using the public park, to be able to walk across the street and to just kind of get right into that activity node without having to walk through the whole site. It is 25 acres. So that was the reasoning behind it. And, I think that's what we did. Now, the multifamily, just really brief, is 3 stories in height along Morris, because we're trying to keep the scale down. And then the 2 little wings that you see are 4 stories. Just those 2 little towers will go up to 4 stories. But there's,
Boardwalk here.
and then the boardwalk is that brown.
It's the brown here along the townhomes
Yes.
and the lake.
And the lake in there. So we're trying to keep the boardwalk into more of a natural area. That's a naturalized area with a creek. It's like a buffer. So we're trying to keep that experience to be really natural. So when people are going through there are sidewalks and connections internally. So if you wanted to bicycle ride or do something internally, you could still cut through the site. But we also wanted like a more naturalized experience. If somebody's coming there and they just want to sort of, use that. And it's kind of nice because it abuts the front of the townhouses. So you're not feeling like, say, you're jogging alone, that you're in the middle of the woods somewhere and nobody's even going to hear, that you're in front of people's house entrances. So it just makes, we wanted the safety factor on that, to have people actually use it and feel safe using it. Anyway, that was our thinking. So
We covered everything. So
Okay.
now
we could turn it over to the applicant, and then if there's other questions, you can just we'll jump up. Thank you.
Okay, great, thank you. That was a lot to take in.
Yeah.
But Steve, I'm sure you've got just as much, if not even more, right?
You stole some of my thunder, so I'm going to cut it a little
Well,
shorter.
Thank you, Bob Tracy, for going through that. And if you don't mind, just introduce yourself, and then
Sure.
If you want to kind of give us a little bit more information.
Yeah, I'll try and fill in some gaps and then turn it over to the architects to kind of get into the meat, which y'all really want to look at. So good afternoon or good evening. My name is Steve Rowe. I'm with AEC, 50 Warm Spring Circle, Roswell, Georgia. I'm here to representing V Development as well as Willowbridge, who's going to be developing the property for the mixed use that we're looking at. This is just a quick photo of the existing buildings from an aerial view showing the green space and the existing parking. As you know, that a lot of the trees have matured really well in the parking lot. A lot of those are nice willow oaks. So we're going to try and maintain most of those that we can throughout the development. The site, like I said, is 25 acres. It's got Deerfield Parkway on one side, Webb Road, Morris on the other. We are maintaining all of the existing curb cuts. So we're not changing any of the traffic patterns. We're not working with any of the lights or anything like that. So it should be a pretty seamless redevelopment of the property. The open space is 24%. So we're going well above the 10%, even above the 20% for the incentive to get to that 20% or to get the 70-30 split. And on that 70-30 split, we're really only using where's my number? 56.8% of residential, but we are allowed to go to 70. So we're well shy of what our incentive. So we're not trying to max out the site. We're not trying to overdevelop the thing by any means. I'm going to pause this here real quick and just run through a little 45-second video that you may or may not have seen that kind of gives a good flair of what the development will look like. right. The existing office will represent about 265,000 square feet that we're going to be maintaining, but we're going to be adding 140 units of multifamily residential, another 10 loft units above some of the retail and restaurants that are going in, and that'll represent another 24,800 square feet of the overall future development. With regards to the shared parking, most of the parking you're looking at, except for this very northern section, is all existing parking. So we're trying to maintain the existing parking, and then what we've done is tried to wiggle in this loop road to create the connectivity throughout and trying to push the traffic more to the outside of the development to keep the pedestrian-friendly nature of the inside of the development. And like Tracy pointed out, we've got pedestrian cross connection in this direction. We've got pedestrian cross connection in this direction, as well as this direction that takes you all the way from the office buildings all the way to the Greenway Trail. So you're going to be able to probably walk most of this development easier than you could ever drive this development, which is by design. The other thing about these two internal roads is they're actually going to serve as fire department connection. So they're going to be pedestrian in nature with removable bollards, so that they're, for the most part, they're going to be pedestrian, but in the event of emergency, they can be pulled and the fire trucks can access any of these buildings without any issues. Stormwater for this site right now is going to the existing lake and will continue to do that. We've still got to run some hydrology numbers, and unfortunately this was done about 20 plus years ago, so we're going to have to reanalyze with the current code. We may have to do some additional water quality, may have to do some additional runoff reduction. Most of that will handle probably in either some plaza areas or under the parking lots that are going to be redone, so that we can kind of hide that and make it work. Unfortunately, that's really the best way to handle the runoff reduction is underground in the stormwater situation. At this point, I can answer any questions regarding the site engineering, or layout. And if not, I will turn it over to Adam to start walking through some of the retail architecture.
I have a question about the entrance exit from Deerfield Parkway.
Okay.
There's a median down the middle.
What?
We're gonna add traffic to that area and then only allow people to exit from one direction and exit.
Right now, that's how it's currently functioning. So we're not changing that function. And when we did run the traffic analysis, we had a fairly robust traffic analysis done, reviewed by the city, and it showed that there was no level of service change from pre-development to post-development at full build out with background traffic built into that. So I think we're going to be okay. And human nature is they'll learn that that's probably not, if they're trying to turn left, that's definitely not a way that they need to go.
What was the current level of analysis? Was the current level of, was it good?
Most of the entrances were good. I don't think anything triggered into a D. I think most of them were Bs and Cs. Again, we had a fairly, I think it was almost 2% background traffic growth per year as we worked through the build out of the traffic study.
Are you considering the like the Webb Road entrance essentially your kind of main entrance into this development, or is it, as far as like if I'm in retail and I'm not coming to stay there, live there, or to work there?
That's probably the more ceremonialized entrance. So it does have the retail. It's looking you directly into that green space and the activity. So yeah, if I was to call an entrance, a main entrance, that would be the one.
Okay. And the loop, kind of the road loop around there, that's both ways, correct?
It is. That's two-way traffic, and we have on-street parking, both parallel and angled parking on that, so that we have an activated streetscape, as well as parking on street does two things. It gives you additional places to park, but also protects the pedestrian from the traffic in the road itself. So there's a level of protection for the pedestrians in that situation.
And you'll have crossings, I'm assuming, from like that rear parking lot that backs up to the Mexican restaurant, complex over there, and then over to, I see one right there.
Yeah, we've got one here. And we haven't, we have to get into the details of the grade transitions and things yet, which we haven't gotten into that level of detail.
Got it, okay.
But yeah, we'll definitely work through the pedestrian connectivity throughout.
Okay.
Are there some of the parking areas designated for residential?
We haven't gotten to that level of specificity. And the way that the site works with the shared parking, there's trying to be very limited, what I call reserve parking for residential, because most of it is going to pull double duty. It's going to work for the office during the day and then the residents in the evening. So this is truly, we looked at this as a shared analysis. So we use the ULI method where they actually look at each use, what their designated traffic or parking requirement would be, and did an hour by hour analysis about how much percentage would be used by each use, ran all those numbers and to make sure that we did have enough parking at all hours of the day, all days of the year.
Is that,
Sorry, go ahead.
well, no, I just to your question, I think it's just that, that's kind of part of the reason why we're essentially saying, hey, you know, the requirement is 1,302 parking spaces. You guys are only proposing, it said 965. I think there's a little bit of variance between that 953,
953 is what
Okay.
we actually need, yeah.
So literally, you know, almost 400 parking spots less because of the night and day kind of.
Correct.
Okay.
And that shared parking is, it works with, you know, the peak hour of the office is the not peak hour of the residential. So you're able to double count a good amount of those parking spaces to be able to reduce the number even more.
And that's part of the incentive thing with the city. See, I
Correct.
agree with that, right? Because then it's not this vast sea of asphalt.
I
right? We have a-
100% am enforced shared parking, but I think for residential, when it's your living space,
Yeah.
that's a different story. You need to have a parking spot.
Now,
That's just-
I will say for
Those are
the
the details, right?
Well, yeah.
The townhomes do have, because the townhomes do have 2 garage spaces, which we obviously they're designated spaces, and then 2 more spaces outside of their units each for 2 guest spaces, in addition to all the other on-street parking. None of that is built into our parking calculation because of, we figured the townhomes needed to stand on their own.
Right.
So we didn't count their guest parking as a part of ours so that we weren't double dipping into that number.
It's the 140 units that do not have parking. Is that correct?
They have parking, but they're
don't
not
have
designated
designated.
for each of their own, yes.
I thought about that too. Like, how does downtown Alpharetta do it with the parking deck? They only have very limited number of like reserved spots. Everything else is just fair game, but it's
But they do have some reserved, at least.
At Avalon
There's
is the same.
minimal, yeah.
thing. Avalon's.
yeah.
Avalon has there's a deck for the residential.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's too short, and I can't even
Yeah.
fit my truck in there.
There's no parking decks
It
here.
says 7 foot, but it's not that. I
No,
can tell
it's
you.
not
My
So you've
running lights tell
you've
you that.
increased the impervious area of the site, right?
What's that?
The impervious area of the site is definitely increased, right?
It's increasing from what it is today,
Right.
but it's not maximizing what it could be or what the intended development was when it was first contemplated to be 3 or 4 office buildings.
And how's that lake controlled right now?
How's what?
How's the lake controlled right now?
There's an outlet control structure along Morris Road. Actually, if you drive slow and look at there, you'll see a big concrete box, which is the outlet control structure, which releases the water. And it captures several developments in that area. It's a master detention system.
And it should have the freeboard to get the water?
Yes.
That much impervious?
Yeah, it was modeled for a full build out of all
Of
the
the whole
sites.
thing? Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's a large
That's lucky.
acre feet
Yeah,
of
right.
volume in that pond.
How
That
often,
happened to
Really
me,
nice.
man.
how often are you run across that?
What are the types of units that you're considering for the multifamily?
I'm going to let the architects get into
Okay.
that detail.
I like how you we were talking about earlier. The question came up as far as like the placement. You had asked that, I think, David. I like the fact that the townhomes kind of buffer between like the resident or the retail and commercial. You know, with obviously the stream that's there, but then also the townhomes on the adjacent property, right?
My thought behind it was I really want these retail places to last. I don't want them to turn over every year.
Got it.
That was my thinking behind it.
Mm-hmm.
The interesting thing about the townhomes, and architects will get into this, but there's really no back to those because you've got a front door that faces the greenway, which has connectivity, and then the backs, while the garage side also has to have a front-looking facade. So,
Right.
so they've really done a great job of making those look great.
This feels more like a Vickery plan.
A little bit more space, though.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit more spread out. I mean, obviously the parking is there, but that's why I asked about Webb Road coming in, and that to me seems like the kind of the gateway, right, to this development. And you come in and you see building A, building B, and then you have that kind of clear line of vision all the way through. I think that's been well thought out. Same thing with each additional kind of entrance into this development, how you have that kind of view and that sight where it's not just something right in front of you.
Right.
It kind of opens it up, and it's really just inviting as far as continuity and connectivity as well. And then also huge bonus as far as putting in the path and trails, making it more pedestrian friendly, the civic center, the bathrooms and all that. It's really kind of a place to hang out and play, right? So
Not only that, they position the buildings so that you're anchoring that green space in the middle, and you're creating almost like a safe space. It's good. I like how they've placed the buildings. I think it's very smart. It'll be successful.
if the multifamily is going to go on there, I'd love to see it back up to Morris Road in the parking lot across the street of the H building or whatever it is. So.
Are any of the buildings mixed use, or are these different uses?
I believe they're each different uses, but the idea is that they're all supposed to kind of blend architecturally together.
I have a quick question. Looking back at the current townhomes on the, I guess it's the west side of the property, there's no connectivity between those and the new development, though?
No, other than at the road.
Okay.
Well, both sides, both Deerfield and also Morris, because they're going to make that connection.
Sure. But aside from this, the yellow trail up top, there's no, like, crossing the stream to get...
Bridge or anything?
No.
No.
Okay.
And they may not want that.
Is it a big stream?
What's that?
Is it a big stream?
It's not a big stream, but it requires a 50-foot undisturbed buffer and a 75-foot impervious setback. So it'd be
Nice.
It's enough where we'd have to get a permit to do it for the Corps of Engineers. And the problem is our front door is going to their back doors. So
Sure.
it really didn't make a lot of sense to make that connectivity.
It's 18 inches wide, so you need a 150-foot buffer.
I feel your pain.
Yeah, sorry. That's on me. I'll strike that from the record. Okay, was there
Please
any other
don't.
questions for?
I have just,
Okay, good.
so I know this is conceptual, but where you have, I think it's called out for number 3, the gateway. Are you thinking of sculptures there? What do you have in mind there?
I've seen several options where it's sculpture. Sometimes it's like literally a little gateway you're walking underneath. We just have to make sure we have the clearance for a fire truck. It's just some type of ceremonial entrance that we would create for those areas to kind of create you that you've entered a different sense of place.
A bronze horse would look awesome right there. Just saying.
There's none of those around here.
Yeah, no. But it's significant of Milton. So.
Yeah, it is.
Okay. What else? Any other questions regarding, I guess, just the building placement and the layout? Obviously, there'll be some more as we get deeper into the details, but.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
There are
you're right.
lofts upstairs.
Yeah, like loft.
Yeah, the lofts are above. I forgot about that.
Okay. So retail on the first and then?
Yes.
Okay. All right, well, why don't we move on to the architectural aspect, and then obviously if we have any questions from there, we can bring it back up.
Sounds good.
Thank you so much.
I'll bring up Adam with ASD Sky. He'll go through the retail section.
Great, thank you.
Thank you. Good evening.
Good evening.
Adam Toll, ASD Sky, 55 Allen Plaza, downtown Atlanta. One of the things you guys kind of basically picked up on all we were trying to do from the site plan. So you're correct. So from Webb Road really was kind of the main entry, that gateway presence out onto the site. And, we kind of worked through real hard to set up those sight lines. But in working through kind of what we were thinking through with the aesthetic, I mean, we went through what's been done at Crabapple, what's been done up here in Milton, and really trying to hammer home something that's very contextual. You'll see as we go through the buildings, very localized to what we think the neighborhood will be at this district for Deerfield. But really taking, these are human scale buildings. And so understanding the details, understanding the brick that's being done on these as we go through the materials and even the some of the pitched roof materials as well to kind of hammer home the localized nature of Milton. So building A is the first one up here on Webb Road, and this one does become sort of that main gateway. You'll see sort of an image of A and B together, but they really provide sort of that monumental presence up on Webb, and they look similar, but also slightly different. And so what we're trying to do, these are the ones that are mixed use to your question. There are 5 lofts above on the second floor in each building. And really, as we kind of go through the retail, what we tried to do and emphasize is really inside-outside space. So you're going to see a lot of kind of that food and beverage district, mainly, not only in the center, but also out here as well on Webb. So in this image, you can see the office buildings in the background. You can kind of see, I think, Ken, you mentioned kind of setting up that view. So as you come through here, you can kind of start to see where that corridor is, where the monuments could be to sort of announce that presence. But you can see building B as well on the left that really kind of gives that sort of emphasis on the tower on that corner. We've surrounded these buildings with outdoor patios as well. And that's really to let the food and beverage kind of spill out and have activity continue out into the space. Building B here, as you're coming down Webb Road, you can see sort of that monumental tower corner piece that we worked through, and then also the lofts on the second floor. And so what we've done on these is push the balconies back and recess them into the building. So you can kind of see where that rhythm goes in and out. As we proceed out into the sort of food and beverage district, into the localized area, so we got building C. And so building C really, starts to take a little bit more character on with the pitched roof. But also we've taken that arched window theme and you'll see it kind of repeat itself slightly. And so what occurs out on Webb slowly occurs in building C. There's a little bit in the next building, and then even the civic building as well that's been designated in the next one. So you can see sort of those inside-outside spaces as well as you kind of move around the corner that spill out. And one of the things that Steve mentioned too is really none of these buildings have a back door. It makes them extremely difficult for that. We work on a lot of restaurants and, people won't love that, but we've designated them enough so that where the window placements could be, we've got areas designated where the kitchens can be as well in there. And even we've thought through kind of where trash collection would be between these two buildings. So if you kind of look at the plan down in the bottom right, you'll see sort of that area in between the buildings to where that's trash collection during the day. And then night can go to where the trash would be picked up behind the office buildings that's already there today. And then also storage as well for maintenance for the property. The other side here, you can start, this is standing in front of the office building looking back at building C. So you can start to see sort of that, almost like you can start to envision that ice cream counter kind of coming out in the, far right building. Then really the two restaurants kind of announcing their presence as you go back towards the townhouses to really flank the green. Our clear story kitchen, as we've come to call it. It's just as if you come sort of off that corner. So you hit that monumental axis there, the diagonal. And really this is the sort of first shot as you come around from the street, around that bend. And so you sort of see the side of the barn, if you will, as you kind of move through before you hit the green. And then especially on the green, opening up all the windows and doors really in that location. You got covered seating, spills out past there as well. And just a whole lot more inside-outside space. In the last building, another one-story. This sort of flanks that diagonal, which is the path that's looking in front of us. And so another, what we envision is another food and beverage localized restaurant in that corner into the orchard, and got kind of two spots, right? So coming out onto the green from a food and beverage seating perspective, and also side patio as well. And then the building on the back left is the civic building that was mentioned earlier. And so something that will have restrooms for the green, and then also the civic space as well to be utilized. And so then now you can start seeing how the elements from building A start to repeat itself as it comes through all the way back to D.
Can you,
Yeah.
on this building here, you said a portion of this was civic space?
Yeah, on the tower, the brick portion.
Okay, got it.
Yep.
Okay.
Wait, it's
Yeah,
behind.
they kind of interlace. You can see in the plan, the bottom left, they kind of interlace each other a little bit.
Got it. Okay.
The civic space is the 3 arches?
Correct.
What, 2,500 square feet, something like that, or?
It's a little, yeah, just basically.
Yeah, roughly.
Yep.
Okay.
Questions?
Oh, no, that was it.
Okay.
More, or are you done?
That's it. And then we're going to go on to the multifamily if you want to.
Okay, yeah.
Just keep
Sorry,
going.
go ahead.
Okay.
Or do we want to look at these first and then?
Yeah,
look
do you
at
wanna-
that, or however you would like to do it. I don't want to break your stride, man. You're doing a really good job, so.
No. You guys have the hard work.
You guys want to let him finish, or you guys want to look at these real quick and then make comments, and then, or just go through the whole thing and then go back?
I think if we see the whole
Yeah, I
plan,
think
then
seeing
we
it in
can,
totality,
Got
I
it,
think
okay.
makes a little bit
then
more
we can
sense.
go in detail
Turn it over.
each one.
Yeah, no, we'll call him back up for sure. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I'm Scott Fleming with Cooper Carey Architects, 191 Peachtree Street, Atlanta, Georgia. So we are working on the residential and the master plan for this project. So the residential components are townhomes and multifamily. The townhomes are located here on the left of the screen. And as we discussed before, the front of the townhomes, the porches, the traditional front door is facing the waterway and the boardwalk. And then the rear, even though there's not really a rear appearance on the building, is where the garage is. And then you'll see here that we've actually worked here on the rear side to actually make that appear, as a front. We've got the eaves, the gables, little porches on a number of these as well. And these are the faces that look out over the retail buildings, the office, and the park in the distance. And you can see where Steve mentioned earlier that we've got a couple parking spaces out front and some landscaping as well, and an entrance into the building. You can kind of see here on the left, it's tucked in a little bit. So you have the opportunity to engage either side of the site as one of the residents of these buildings. This is the front view of the townhomes. This would be the walk in front that connects the site. And you see each of these have a substantial front porch. They're roughly about 28 feet wide, 2 stories, bringing in a lot of those Milton elements with the gables, with the brackets, especially the large stone and brick chimneys that express themselves from grade all the way up above the roof line. All the details have sills. We've got a substantial trim surrounding them all. And then, brackets along the eaves as well as along the gables, a couple different styles and mix. We've also got a couple different decorative railings where they're required. Here along the porch and then along the backside for the upper story balcony that would, probably be the master bedroom that would look out over the rest of the development.
How wide is the trail in front of the townhomes?
How wide is the trail? Is that
10
10
foot,
feet? Yeah.
multi-use trail.
Yep. The multifamily units are along Morris Road. We've broken those into 2 different buildings. That allows us opportunities to create extra entrance and more presence on the corners and to reduce kind of the scale of the multifamily buildings. And when it comes to multifamily buildings and this type of development, it's really about trying to break that scale down. And so our approach is, again, to bring in those Milton elements. As Bob said earlier, 3 stories along the road frontage. We've got a large stone chimney that expresses itself, and this gives us an opportunity on each end of that building. So we'd have 4 of these stone chimneys as you move along the edge. Every 12 to 24 feet, we have a break in massing, we have a break in material and color, and that helps us sort of bring the scale down. I think we're about 177 feet in length. And so creating that change in elevation, changing the gables to give us an expression on the edges, and then interjecting very large porches. They're 8 feet deep, nominally 10 feet wide. So they're like outdoor rooms for each of these units as you move across. And then creating areas and opportunities to kind of bump out sort of a bay window kind of thing. We've got like a 3-tab architectural shingle, some little accents of metal roofing, the detailing in the gutters and the downspouts that are keeping very much into the Milton standards and kind of create that, those elements that remind you of Milton architecture, picking up on cues of recent development and cues that are happening across the street.
Quick question. Are these how do the residents get to the units?
These are all internal corridors.
Okay.
And so there'll be entrance points along the edges.
So those aren't external stairs on the back
So
side?
we do. And so one of the things in a couple of
Oh, no,
units,
not those, not the small ones. Those are balconies.
these are balconies, but we have a little stoop in a couple of the units to create sort of a townhome look and feel.
Go to your right a little bit with your cursor.
In the
Yes.
white?
Yeah, those.
Here, those are balconies.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
That's not stairwells.
Yeah,
Okay.
each of those. But you could see, like these 2 balconies, we're showing an opportunity to have a little stoop that comes out.
So that's usable?
That would
That's
be
not
usable.
just
But that's only
decorative.
to that one individual unit.
That's right, on the
Okay.
ground floor. So some of the ground floor units will have that opportunity if they wanted to pop out on the back edge and engage. To the left of this would be the amenity building. And so it's just an alternative way and give us an opportunity to create a little interest along this edge.
And looking at the key plan down in the lower right,
Yes.
those trees are more actual trees than what you have
Yeah, there.
landscape. Okay, that's
Right.
I was about to say you can. No. I mean, you can barely see the office buildings right now when you drive.
Yeah.
And just making sure those trees are
And
staying.
that's a good lead in.
Sorry.
There's a healthy stand of trees there now, and so we want to maintain that landscape. And so, in the winter, a lot of these trees are losing their leaves, and you're going to see the architecture. And then in the summer, and probably even more than we're showing in the rendering, it might block it. But since we are here to hear about the architecture, we want to make sure we had a view that showed it.
Thank you.
And I think that is our kind of last image of what this would look like as you're walking along Morse Road here.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
There more, or that was it? or-
That's it. So
Okay.
that's the residential portion.
Okay. So do we want to, this is a courtesy review. Let's just go through some questions, right, for the applicant regarding both the commercial, unless y'all have some, obviously, for the commercial, residential, and then retail portion of this. Is that cool?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you want to start here since you're at the podium?
I'm already here.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's work backwards. Okay. So can we pull that back up, the slides? I don't know where all that stuff went. There we go. So I would say Being that this is a courtesy review, if at all possible to do like a streetscape, right? Like a plain view from, say, Morris Road. Is it Morris Road? Yeah. Through that, dense vegetation of the trees. Because I do think that it is important, like you said, like is try to maintain 90 to 100% of those existing trees.
Right.
Just because then it keeps with the character of the existing there, but then we're also now blanketing essentially what is multifamily, which is somewhat taboo, right? And we all know that. So I think that's going to help on having that kind of sightline view from perhaps that road. Will give a little bit better visualization for not necessarily us, but then also your journey down the road as this goes forward, right?
Right. So I want to pull over here to a plan view. And so where would we stand? What kind of perspective are you wanting to see here?
Yeah, just literally in the middle of the road, right? So you had kind of had, obviously it's like a, AI version of let's look at these graphics from here. I'm just saying, literally, if you're maybe do like from standing on the road, an actual of what that looks like now with those full vegetative trees.
Got it.
To kind of give an idea of it.
So like street view.
Yes, correct. I have no problem visualizing that. I can see if I drive along that road, I can see how thick that vegetation is and realize that I'm really going to have a distorted view of whatever goes there as long as a lot of that existing vegetation stays, right?
Yeah.
But there are others that don't, so I think that will be helpful as far as a recommendation for you, right?
Okay.
And sorry, I'll just start off with.
Yeah, go ahead.
comments.
Yeah.
Great. So
We'll tweak them.
yeah, I do like, now you got the trees in there, right? So this is what I'm talking about. There we go.
Yeah.
So I like the idea how you have those stairs coming down from that end unit.
Right.
The only thing to me is like you guys have done, I think you've done a pretty good job of trying to get rid of the apartment look, right?
Right.
Okay. Condo, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
But to me, like that second building or that second unit in, if we're going to say, because I do feel like this is, we're there as far as getting towards townhome look, right? That to me looks kind of like a stairwell, but I don't know if it's just because of that view.
This here, the balconies.
Yeah, correct, right?
Yeah.
I like the idea. If I was staying there, I'd love to have kind of this nice open balcony and stuff, but we just want to make sure it doesn't come across once it's constructed that it looks like a stairwell from the outside,
That's a great point, right? Because it's not a 3-story walk up. There aren't the stairwell, which has a certain connotation, and these are large balconies. And I think when we do the rendering, we improve the lighting. We show people out there, and if you recall the video, some of that showed as you kind of moved along that edge.
Yep.
So I think we can improve this rendering to avoid that perception.
Because you actually on the commercial buildings, you did a really good job because you had kind of a mix between you had open balcony on the top, and then you had some sort of like distorted shutter or some sort of detail that kind of pulled away from that, so it didn't look so much kind of consistent as far as just it's the same thing, right? So. I do like the color balance, right? That you've got the palette that's in here. Right. So I really hope like if you do come back to that, and I think this ties in well with the rest of the buildings and the development also.
Yeah.
So just make sure like when you guys come back through for that final, that give us some details, some we have a charrette board or whatever and stuff like that. I don't think we need to have like individual pieces of metal roofing, but it'd be nice to kind of have all that broken down just so we can kind of really put that together and see it. So that's really for the multifamily. My kind of, I guess, take from that is I'd like to see a little bit, maybe even if it's just putting an awning or something like that between. I like how you've got like twin window, and then 2 single windows, right?
Right.
Breaks it up a little bit, but maybe something to break that just long 35-foot plane, on there, like you did on the next building over.
Right here. Yeah. Yep.
And even the difference between like gables and then the gable roofs and then that. I like how you did the symmetry, but I would say almost you could split it up even more, right?
Okay.
Not necessarily do 3 in the middle and then, but even that you could probably just create because I guess my question is where are you going to put the HVAC units?
They're all going on the roof.
They are, okay.
Yeah. We're going to hide them there. And, it could be a bit of the perspective too, but there's some asymmetry to the building, right? We kind of mirror and flank the corners, and then we've got a little larger balcony. And then, but this is kind of a unique unit here as well. But the building is, 70 plus feet wide. So these roofs come up and they return back, but there's a very large flat spot in the middle over the corridor. So it works out for the condensing units to run down and keep everything's internally working well.
No, I like that. I like that from the ground, from an outside perspective, looking at it, it looks residential as far as the roof line is concerned, right? And so it's hiding all that stuff obviously is going to be something that is a must, right?
Yeah. No.
And I'm assuming you'll have roof access to those units.
Yes. Yeah. We'll have a stairwell that pops up, and that way you can get to those. So internally, they're not having to manage a lift or ladders on the outside to get to them.
Okay. Yeah, that's our worst nightmare as a HVAC contractor.
Right.
I have a question. Bob had mentioned when he talked about these buildings that little jet out on the back would be like a 4-story tower. Is that not? Are you keeping it all the same? Or is he right that little jet out on the back?
Yeah,
will be
this
one more story?
back piece here will be 4 stories.
Okay.
And that because we have such a small site, we wanted to keep the length of the building down in the scale. That allowed us that opportunity.
And it will be more units too. Like
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. And that
Not
hits
just
our
like a
unit
facade.
count.
Okay.
Yeah, there'll be another level on that edge.
Are the buildings, the multifamily, are they going to mirror each other to somewhat? I know they're not exactly.
They will,
but-
yeah. It's similar, right? Because you could kind of see in plan, they do respond differently to the site. But essentially, these details and components will be replicated across the way. And the big thing we want to do is here on the corners for each of these is to create that moment with kind of the double gable on the 90s and then that large stone chimney.
What size units are you thinking?
So we've got 1 and 2 bedrooms. The 2 bedrooms are 1,200 plus, and the 1 bedrooms are around 900 square feet on average.
So no more than 2 bedroom?
That's correct.
How Ken requested the street view, I think it would definitely be beneficial to see the other sides of this building as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
When y'all come back.
It'll be very similar to this, but getting your feedback, and we can apply that as we move around and work through it for the next presentation.
So the only color brick I'm seeing, it's the one on the chimney, and then is that the same color on those?
Zoom in here, yeah.
Oh, here you go. Perfect.
Yeah, we've kind of got a dark color, and creating a
it's
little,
fretful.
a little bit of a recess and a little herringbone pattern just to create some interest. So, and then we've got a lighter color brick, and we kind of want to match what's happening with the retail buildings and the townhomes to create some continuity. It's different shapes and sizes and uses, but through the materiality, we can make this feel more like a cohesive community.
Yeah, zoomed in like this, you can definitely tell that those
Yeah.
are not stairwells. It looks a lot better.
I think it's the railing
Right, to where the
that
larger
looks-
balconies are.
Like a post
hold on.
apartment.
It's
Yeah.
very sensitive.
Like you're driving by and it's stairwells.
There we go. Yeah, I think it helps just because we have a little more depth and light coming in. You could see that it's a balcony and not a stairwell.
Yeah, maybe if there's a way to, instead of just doing all railing, railing, maybe do like a, knee wall or something like that, right? Incorporate that into the architecture. Because then also too, as I'm thinking, if I'm staying in there, that creates a little bit more privacy, that from 36 inches down, right? Something like that.
Yeah.
And then that also I think will help distinguish it more from apartment more towards townhome, right?
Right.
The same thing with like the end unit building where it's like, I love that, right? If I was my unit, I'd want to be staying on it, but like 1, 2, 3. So maybe like change up a little bit, whether it's just change the railing or I mean, these are just ideas. I think overall we're in the right direction.
Okay.
But also too, like I said, is we got to critique this because multifamily taboo, you know how it goes, right? So what else?
I like that idea, especially when on the area that we thought was a stairwell.
Mhm.
I feel like if he changed the railing and made it, some kind of,
Yeah. I
you know,
agree.
like even stone or something, it would be more obvious that it was intended to be, an outdoor space.
Right. And it breaks up just between each floor, I think. And it just makes it variations between different units and different floors and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
Oh, it does. Requires that 8-foot deep. Yep. And so we're a little bit concerned about. Yeah.
And there are light in views. Yeah. Yeah. So as Chuck said, just getting light into that because behind the
that's fair.
balconies will be the living space. And then also there are views from outside. And so I do think we can work on the railings and maybe beef the railings up to give them that visual interest I think you're getting to, maybe without the solid walls. And, we can play with different variation. You can do a lot with the bottom rail or a top rail that has maybe a pop of color or it's an extra thickness. And I think we can get some variation. The approach is on the ends, we would do a very special kind of railing and then everything else would still be decorative, but very similar.
Yep.
And I think we can vary that even further to create, as you kind of march down the facade, that visual interest and change.
Yeah, I mean, again, you could almost change the railing on each level, right?
Yeah.
So we don't necessarily have to have the nice decorative on all three levels be the exact same. And I agree with you, right? But we also have to look at it from a citizen's perspective. It's like, yeah, we want to let light in there. And I agree. As a business owner, I would want that, right? Because obviously that just makes it more desirable. But then from a citizen standpoint, if every one of these people in there with glow lights and stuff and black lights and everything, we don't want to be seeing that from the street. You know what I mean?
Right.
I know it's hypothetical, but reality is reality sometimes, right? So grow lights, whatever. So, but that's also too is why I think having that street view showing the existing kind of full mature existing canopy of the trees that are there is going to help, because when you show us this picture, we're looking at, all right, dude, this is going to be, boom in your face, but that's not necessarily the case, right? So I'm just saying that will help you guys out a little bit.
Yeah.
What is the roof above the balconies?
The roof above the balconies is a flat roof.
Okay, so it's a flat roof and then it goes to the pit.
That's right. And as you kind of, I think you might have seen it better in the video, but as you sort of move around the edge, it helps emphasize the different roof heights and pitches, where the balconies kind of create that visual separation between the individual kind of townhome style architecture.
I get that.
Yeah. Essentially, most of it's a flat roof, and we just have these decorative pitched roofs on the end. But from the street, it looks like almost the entire thing is a pitched roof.
Mm-hmm.
I'm no designer, but what are those things that they usually put in a gable roof that's like a wood beam and it has the
Truss?
Yeah, it kind of looks like a truss,
the
but it's in
crossbeam,
the,
like
it's
a
in the end
truss?
of the.
Do
I mean, would
that-
that work? Yeah. Would that work in something like this? Or do
You're
you
saying
keep
about
it?
it? Typically, you'd have that in a gable.
I think.
And it's usually open.
Do we have one out here on City Hall like that?
Yeah, that's kind of what I was
Yeah,
saying. I mean,
there are
we
some
put them.
buildings like that.
We talk about them a lot and putting them into the designs. I didn't.
Well,
know if
he's
that
got
could-
like the corbels and then the dentals and stuff like that.
Yeah,
It's got a
I
lot
was
of
just thinking
detail.
to break it up
Like that.
from having the same thing right in a row.
I mean, change some of the gables, the deck, because they're all the same.
Like this you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Whatever
and
that's
it's a-
called.
It's a choice, I think on, let's get to the townhomes. We treated that a little differently, right?
Mhm.
And you could see here where we have this little kind of
Broke it
added
up, yeah.
pop out piece, right? And so it's always, how do you celebrate and experience that? And I think we want to make sure we're consistent with it, and I think once you get into the element that you're talking about, it definitely has a connotation. But I do think we could come in and, perhaps this is a different style of bracket. Some of these are like a rafter tail kind of look, but
Mhm.
some are a bracket with a kicker. And
I
maybe
like
that
that.
would help differentiate, but it's still in the same family of the way that we kind of capture the roof as it comes out from the eave.
The way I look at it though, David, is because that's so high up there,
Yeah. you
like
probably-
having an introduction of different materials and then possibly different colors is going to make that more of a focal point versus kind of want it to hide,
Oh, I see. Oh, that makes sense.
being that high, right? You're talking about kind of like gable trusses like this, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, just throw one of these on the outside. We good. Okay. What other comments, questions, recommendations for the multifamily do we have?
Is this, so in the trust that's board and batten?
Yes, board and batten, lap siding, and brick.
Okay.
And then a stone base, which you can't really see for all the landscaping, but
So the material that looks like it's kind of a white color, what,
that would be a board and bat. This would be a lap siding.
okay.
And then, this is a stone chimney and a stone base. And then we've got our brick components here in a couple of different colors.
Yeah, doing that chevron and like herringbone pattern in between the two. I love that, right?
That's fancy.
What's that?
That's fancy.
I mean,
I like it.
so obviously I wouldn't do the same thing like on the white units, right? But some sort of, either connection or break between those that you guys do this for a living, man.
Yeah.
But I think that,
Break up those three identical in the middle. maybe?
yeah. That's why I was saying maybe split that facade and instead of doing all
Right.
three in the middle, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. We could do that a lot with materials and pattern too, right? So it's a different color and, maybe we come in and we introduce that kind of different brick pattern on one or two of these. And so that each of the three have a subtle variation, even though they're very similar.
Yep.
Okay.
All right, have we done enough on this one?
Yeah, I don't have.
Yeah.
Okay.
Great.
All right, hey,
Okay.
phase one done, right? Let's
Say
move
that
on.
your shirt is amazing.
Oh, thank you.
My son would totally approve.
I appreciate it. All right. Who's up next?
Okay, townhomes, right?
Townhomes. That's still me. Here we go.
Sorry.
You want to take a break or?
I'm good. I keep
Okay,
going if you
all right.
guys can.
Hasn't been too bad. Okay, so townhomes, a couple things. Have you, I actually like these, right? I think that there's definitely definition between the two, right? And just changing up just subtle stuff from like the, small hip on the roof versus the shed roof, the double dorm or double gable or double dormers versus the single. I would say like it doesn't necessarily have to be like large gable, double dormers, large gable, double. Well, no, you did switch it up a little bit, I guess. Yeah.
Actually,
It's
we
just split, right?
yeah, we flip it and we change materials on these.
Yeah.
And so it's a little deceptive. It's really just two building types, but in change material and inverting them, it gives a little variation and a little dance along the face of the building.
On the trail side, so one thing I was thinking is if I'm an owner of these, there's no yard, right? There's nothing. So have you guys considered that small amount of front yard kind of fencing that in with maybe like some little gates or something like that to the pedestrian walkway? To where at least you have like a small front yard and then it has a break between that kind of walkway or the pedestrian path and then the front of the house. Me personally, if I was buying the home, then I would want to see something like that, right? And you do see that quite a bit, Alpharetta, Roswell.
Or even here,
Even here. That's
going down
right.
Broadwell.
Where are you putting the HVAC units on these?
They are going to
Is
go
that a TBD?
right here, hidden by the landscaping.
Got it, okay.
Yeah,
I figured.
typically that's where we tuck them in, and they're green and you don't really notice them. You keep a nice healthy landscaping around them.
Got it, okay. Let's go back to the front again, or yes, front, I guess.
Is it asking too much to have more than 3? Like if each one of these looked totally individual, just changing, not having the same, like the white columns, they're just switching it up so that it, like if somebody, like in these 5 units here, somebody could say, oh, I have this front porch, I have cedar, whatever, columns or something like that. And they could almost be like individualized. Is that doable or is that asking too much?
I don't think so. I think that's, instead of having like, so basically what you're presenting to us is that you have townhome A, B, C, correct?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you can mix those, right? You can
Right,
have
right,
an
right, right.
A1 and A2 and kind of
Yeah.
flip them around. But I think we could settle on maybe a couple architectural column styles. We don't want too many, but enough to give some variation.
Well, just like
in-
even
Right.
like, so building A or unit A, right? And right now you've just got, half stone columns and then the other half. Maybe on the next one, instead of doing half stone, just do full straight columns with some brackets or something, right?
Yeah.
Just subtle differences between each one of those to kind of, even though we know they're probably the same exact floor plan inside, but from
Right.
the exterior perspective wise, we're looking at it, just the house looks totally different,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And a craftsman style post, like break it up.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, like instead of like on unit 2, instead of having all the exposed rafter tails, right, on the third one over, well, the one that's maybe change up that roof line a little, or just don't put the exposed rafter tails,
Right.
Save you a little bit of money. But is that what you were kind of going at?
Yeah, just
like each one
to
individually.
make them look a little different.
Okay.
I think from a buyer perspective too, be like, hey, I'm not,
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking.
mine has cedar.
So I guess my question is, are these going to be built and then bought, or is the homeowner going to be able to buy it and then customize it?
That'll be built all one time.
Okay.
Yeah.
For sale, for rent. Okay.
Simple.
Yeah, they're individually owned.
Oh.
Is there a
Not
rental
like a
cap?
condo.
Is there a rental cap? Okay.
Yeah, that's for the
Yeah.
planning commission and the council.
We just got to make it look good.
If there ain't a color or, material to
Don't bring that
Just
up.
curiosity.
no.
Bring that up.
All right, what other comments and stuff on the,
I think just on the upper level, it feels like all the windows are the same shape and size, and there's always an even number.
Mhm.
I just think maybe make it a little more interesting on some of them. Maybe do a 3 or do a
triple and a twin?
yeah,
versus a
yeah,
single,
and just a
single,
little
single,
more.
Oh, you
An
mean
extended top
versus
round in
just
the
kind
middle
of
with
the
two on
double
either
hung.
side.
Yeah. They're like the first one is a 5, but we kind of break that up versus this one, which is a 6, and it's a little smaller window. But I think we could come in and maybe
Yeah.
do something. The strategy here was the larger windows and the living space.
Yeah, it looks great down there.
And then smaller upstairs.
Yeah.
But I think we could.
I like the smallness and it's
Yeah.
neat and clean and tidy,
Yeah.
but I just think when you're looking at the expanse of it,
Mhm.
maybe just changing a little of some of them.
Yeah. I think we can do that.
A different color does hide that. It does look like 4 windows on the first one, but you're saying it's really 5.
Right.
Yeah, because it has that offset.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
It's-
think
I
that's
thought
a
it was
great job
back,
right there.
That was
so
tricky.
that's on the same plane.
Well, it's back, but by
Okay.
Yeah, no,
a
it's
foot or
recessed
so.
back.
Okay, okay,
But yeah, this unit is from here to
Got
it.
this point.
okay.
But to your point is like the white unit, second, I'm gonna call it B, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
You could do that same unit and then the next one do twin window above the twin window below, a single smaller window up in the middle, and then the twin window, just to change that one up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And literally that's it, right? And then it just, even though it's the same floor plan,
Yeah.
it just looks a little bit different as we go. And there's
Absolutely.
only 20 of them, right?
Right. Yeah, and we want each one to look different, right? We don't want anyone to repeat. And we have a lot of materials and little details, like you guys mentioned, the window styles and the columns to differentiate that.
Yeah. And even like, or to change that one up, instead of doing the 2 small kind of dormers right there. You could just do like one double window with a gable or with a shed roof, dormer in the center, something like that. Anyway, I think you get where we're going.
I do.
What else on the fronts of these? Good. Let's go to the back.
Yep. There we are.
Yeah, I mean, what else can you do?
No, I'm just happy they have entrances on the back. So there's access.
Right.
I like how you tied in, again, you tied in materials not only from the retail, commercial, and then also the multifamily as well, like your little railing design there, right?
Right.
I mean, and then it mimics kind of what's on the front of that house as well.
I like that the garage doors are all different. That's very nice.
Yes, I would
That's
say
going to be
that's-
how they enter, right?
Yeah.
Every afternoon when they come home from work.
Yeah, like I don't want to go in the wrong one. And then on the overhangs over the garages, is that like an asphalt shingle roof or is that metal?
We're showing asphalt on those, but we could come in some of those.
Could we
be
do
a
metal?
metal standing seam.
there's
I think that would look a lot better.
I agree.
Yeah.
Is there, so I'm just gonna throw this out here. Y'all can say no. What about making the garage doors look like barn doors? So that I'm thinking about this equestrian look with Milton. And if we could incorporate something into that. But
I think on some of them, like that first one, if you just added like some metal strap detail
yeah, that's all.
or something
Exactly.
simple, but
Yep.
like I wouldn't do like full on.
No, not
You
like
know,
not
yeah.
like open gate type doors. Just just the look.
Right.
Like more of a carriage house.
carriage
Yes,
house.
there you go.
So, yeah, what you're basically what we're kind of saying on the back is the same thing as what we were saying on the front, right? Is like you said, not every garage door be the same. Have some that have that X pattern, right? That have the detail, the decorative hardware and stuff like that on there. I like the glass, like glass different. Maybe some of them don't necessarily need it, right? But just that's something that just as a small change, between each unit that just kind of differentiates it from the same exact unit two down from it, right? And we're not talking like a Wayne Dalton stamped steel, Yeah. I mean, this is Milton, right? So, but I think that's a good point.
Is there any, I know with the corbels with the overhang, it's hard to get like a nice sconce light, or is there any exterior lighting back there?
We haven't considered any exterior wall lighting back here, but I'm sure that probably not going to happen. Is that what I'm seeing? Yeah. So, but we can certainly develop that.
I think
for the
it would
next
just-
So these
time
are
in
things
front
that
of you
we're
guys.
going to be asking you when you guys come back, right?
Yeah,
So that's a great
exactly.
point. I would imagine under those little
Noted.
awnings for the garage, they just have like some downlight, like can lights there or something. But then obviously there's
Right.
probably going to be like a wall sconce or maybe even like a ceiling light on the little side entrance there too.
By the door.
Okay.
Or a little lamp post would be very darling.
That would be darling.
Right next to the HVAC.
Yeah, right next to the HVAC.
Yeah, I will go to the lamp post.
Don't make it difficult to work on this.
So I think, yeah, I mean, like, look, even like the white one's just stark. It just stands out, right? Because it's like
Right.
white, it's there. I mean, throw a shutter or two or something like that on there. Just something simple, but you guys know what you're doing. I think these are kind of just input to, recommendations and stuff. And when you guys come back, we look at it and we're like, yep, you got it,
Right.
So, all right, what else? Anything else on the townhomes?
Have y'all considered screening in any of the exterior patios?
We haven't discussed that. I guess screened-in porch. Yeah.
Georgia. You only have like 2 months to use a screen-in porch.
No, I use mine year.
I use mine year round.
Yes.
Because there's screens.
Just to
The screen.
I'm not looking for more variation. I'm just saying like maybe,
Yeah.
the third one could be screened in.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
just a thought.
Well,
Anything else?
especially one on the multifamily with the big
That's what I was picturing, like the
chimney?
second one up or something.
Yeah, because they're going to be fireplaces on the exterior porches, or is that an interior?
It'd be on the interior.
Okay.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell. It looked like it might have been on the porch.
You
That's what I was trying to think.
talking about on the multifamily?
Yes.
Man, you don't want to do that on multifamily.
Do what?
Think about you get renters in there.
Do what?
Destroy screens, man.
Oh, screens.
Is that what you were talking about?
Yeah, but I was asking about the fireplace because I
Oh,
couldn't
yeah.
tell if it was on the exterior
No.
Whether
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
porch or
No, that's
inside.
just a look, right? They didn't put fireplaces on it.
That's too.
There's a lot of liability that comes.
Yeah, yeah.
Nobody gets a fireplace? That's sad. Could do like a
chimney.
ventless or something.
Yeah. Well, all we're doing is increasing the cost of the rent right
That's
now.
right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, okay, any other questions or comments for the townhomes, the residential portion? So we can give this gentleman a break.
Great.
All right.
All right.
You did awesome.
Hey,
Thank you so much.
for the feedback.
All right, so can we, you ready to?
Let's do it.
All right, let's go. So how about we just start with building A and B?
Mhm.
Okay, so building that one right there. Mine's like that too. What's the upstairs space right there?
Yeah, so it's an amenity for the residential units.
It is, okay, perfect.
Yep.
But see how this is what I'm talking about. See how you have on the brown brick portion on the rear, you have like windows and then you have balcony and then you have windows. It's not just all balcony, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of what we're talking about as far as the multifamily. Just, I like how you have that difference in there, right? I like how you have the parapet roof and then also the kind of shed roof tying into it, right? The break between those two, the colors are good. This really mimics a lot of those, as you had in your presentation, or this is still it, but those 4 kind of references that you used that were kind of in that Deerfield, design manual. I think you did a good job of capturing it. And also too, and that's really why I asked earlier is like, hey, is this the gateway into this community?
Yeah.
I think you did a good job. I really do. I like the bump out on the columns up to that with the dentals and the bricks works and everything like that too. The use of like kind of that vented steel with the awnings. It's just very good job. It bites the outside in and the inside out. Cool.
Thanks.
Is this the one that you had the signage down the
No,
side?
that's building B.
Oh, okay.
This is A, but it's mimics it to the
Yeah,
other
yeah.
side. Am I correct, right?
Yeah.
So where would the signage go?
Right there was
On-
this sign.
No, on the other one. On the other one.
Signage on the
That's
other one.
different.
But I mean, if you got a retail space or
There's
a
this
restaurant.
trading post.
Well, yeah, but that's way over there.
Yeah.
How are you gonna?
Right up above
here.
the vents. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does this whole development we're looking at have an official name?
No,
Okay. Will it?
it will. Yes.
Okay, it will.
Yeah.
Will that
We
be
can kind of
displayed?
recommend that tonight if you want.
Oh, God. Would that name be displayed anywhere?
That's the plan on building B.
That's what's going on the signage?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Will there be a monument sign for
Cool.
this development?
Called the Ken.
We haven't decided yet. I mean, I think we're working through that of kind of the whole, I mean, ultimately, I think there's one sort of, design package that, the signage is kind of the unifying factor as well from the architecture personally of the way that we've talked about it. So I think we're thinking through where those would go.
I think the fact that you've made these buildings as you enter into this not look so giant. And it's almost like the segue into obviously the 6-story buildings we have behind it, right? And it
Yeah.
just, anyway.
I really do. I like it. I like the map.
Yeah, great job, man.
Yeah, I like the metal
Sorry,
venting.
dude. For the town. You got a little bit of work to do. These were looking pretty good.
What is the material? I love the little diamond like inset in the brick. Is that just what
Oh,
is?
like a cast stone.
Okay.
Yep.
I think that's a great little detail.
Thank you.
So from a recommendation, when you guys come back is have some examples of some lighting, right?
Yep.
What kind of lighting you guys are going to want to use. If there's going to be any kind of like downspouts or anything like that, the use of materials, just kind of have that labeled out, just so we can kind of see. That's going to cut down on your time spent here,
Yeah.
and it's going to cut down on the questions we ask, right? The
Understood.
more information you guys provide us, the easier it is for us to move through this and visualize it better, right?
Okay.
Oh, and tree specimens? I mean, like, I know they're going to use existing trees, but if they're going to add trees, that always comes up. Like, what kind of tree is this? What kind of tree is this?
Yeah, so there would
Okay.
be a landscape review as well, correct?
Right.
So we'll have the architectual and the
Right.
building.
I
and
know.
site,
I'm
and
just
we'll have the landscape.
thinking about
So-
all the stuff that we started asking.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Any other comments, questions, concerns for building A or B?
So these are walk up from the sidewalk, correct? Or
Cor-
walk in?
Correct.
And then are those tables with umbrellas? So is this going to be food and beverage? Are you doing restaurants here?
Yeah, I think there's probably almost a little bit more retail in this district and more heavy concentrated the food and beverage in the back, but we will have restaurants up here as well. Yeah, this will be much more of a mix than compared to around the green.
So you're thinking this is even if this isn't necessarily right there, boom, a restaurant, this is still going to have some tables and stuff outside to where anyone walking by can just hang out and
Correct.
got it. Okay. Man, I like that.
Bakery. And then
Yeah.
the access to the lofts above, that's all interior as well, like.
Correct.
Okay,
Yep.
Great.
So the second floor on this building, on the corner here, is that also amenities for the lofts?
No, it's a little tricky in this one. We envisioned that one being a restaurant, so we gave it a little bit more height. So it's actually kind of a false window on the second
Okay.
floor. So, the hood would be back there. You got a ton of mechanical coming up there through the roof at that point. And so the way that we've looked at the units, we've left that more towards the retail and food and beverage.
Okay. What else? All right. Survived A and B. Let's move
That's
on.
good.
Or did you have any other questions? Anybody have any other questions on the B2 perspective right there?
Just the lighting, because they are showing lighting on the next building, but so I would just make sure that's all
Yeah,
squared away.
agreed. Thanks.
Okay. Yeah, man, nail on the head. Seriously, like that reclaimed, I would love to see like an actual picture of this brick or stone, whatever it is you're looking at, but like that reclaimed look. I mean, even as far as like the soldier course that you did, bring that to us, right? The soldier course you did around those radiuses, the true radius, up at the overhang at the gable, even like the recess in from, both of the kind of, I guess, operable garage doors, and then even the door right there. It just, man, it looks good. And you hit the nail on the head as far as, again, as far as the references to kind of that Deerfield manual, right?
Mhm.
So that's tumbled brick that you're showing?
Yeah, correct.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, almost like you can imagine the brick behind you, right? A little bit more variation, right?
We got to go older.
But, yeah.
No, absolutely. But yeah, I mean,
That looks older. That looks more.
Yeah, it looks like an old like grain storage building or something that you would,
Railroad.
yeah, just
Yeah.
like repurposed it. That's really cool.
Train station.
yeah.
What kind of pavers are you thinking? Hardscape?
It's concrete probably, because if we could go to the site plan, because, we're kind of envisioning sort of the large scale paver, so concrete, because I think what we talked about is, that's going to bleed into this area. And that's actually the fire lane for access. And so you get the heavy dutiness that's up there. And so to keep it continuous visually.
But do you have like right outside within like 6 to 8 feet or something of that building? Are you
We'll
anticipating
split.
a different? Yeah.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
Got it.
I missed it. What'd you say?
Yeah. So he's talking about, like, as you kind of get closer to the
Oh, yeah.
building, kind of maybe delineating a little bit more of what's an outside space.
Yeah, I mean, it's literally, it's things like that that I think elevate this, right, to a different level than just having concrete all the way to the,
Yeah.
the building, right? Just, it's a,
I
just
think-
the attention to detail is very well done.
And then the landscape across the site, kind of unifying that is going to be sort of that last piece. Yeah.
Got it.
And what is the building, what is this purpose for this building?
Food and beverage.
Okay, yeah.
All right.
Are those sectional doors that are open?
Yeah, over, right here.
Yeah.
Correct. Yep.
Is the building behind it, is it connected or?
Yeah, they're a little separate.
Okay.
I'll zoom into the plan. This
That's
is
where
where
you're saying
that,
where the dumpsters.
trash.
yeah, this is where the trash and the service are.
So I saw you had string lights back there. Is there like a,
Yeah, through that space to really
Okay.
kind of just pull people through here a little bit.
How is a dumpster truck gonna get there? Access that?
Yeah, so right now there are the dumpsters over here for the office. And so then at night, they'll bring it through over to that space.
Then they'll just dump the.
So it'll
garbage
be
bags.
all at off hours.
Yeah. So if you look at,
So,
like Avalon, right, they have an entire building in the back. That
Yeah.
Literally is
That's
just
a good-
for, it stinks.
It does.
As long as it looks good, you know what I mean? I ain't worried about it. Okay. What other questions, comments, concerns on this one?
we'll look at the other side.
I do,
What
yeah.
about grease traps? Have you thought about that?
Yeah, we have. I mean, I think we've been working through with Civil where those will be within the landscape. But those will be, you kind of see, you know, ultimately there's a ton of landscape to hide those in.
I'm assuming the dumpsters in between the buildings are covered,
Enclosed. Everything's
closed.
enclosed.
What kind of material are y'all thinking?
For the dumpster or for the,
No, to like fencing or,
oh, no, it's an enclosed space. So
Oh, it's
you won't see
completely
the,
closed.
yeah.
okay.
Okay. Let's go to the next one, if you don't mind, or the.
Yeah.
So this is essentially the back of that, where Royal Georgia is the back of that building, correct?
Correct.
Okay, yeah.
It's that second half, if you will, of the barbell.
Yeah.
The-
I like it.
And that's the thing too, that, you know, all these buildings, it's front facing, you're saying back, but really it's front facing.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
it's kind of a,
Yeah.
it's an inch, it makes it a
the
little
front.
tough to do from that point. But yeah.
Oh, that's right, because of, where the cooking and all that stuff's going in. I mean,
Yeah, that's why the barbell's in the back too, so you can have access to just take the trash
got it.
right there.
Okay.
Yep.
I think I'm cool with that one. Let's go to the other building. So I don't mind that. There's another one that has a more of a close-up to it. Yeah, that's First Story Kitchen. Only thing that I would say is I think would be better on this is that kind of like bumped up, what do we call it, like a cupola or
Clear story.
Clear story.
yeah, clear story. No. That's the word I was looking for, sorry.
It's a team joke.
Obviously you guys took it straight from Halcyon, right? And that was part of it, but I would love to see that more of like a cupola, like a barn element.
Barn
right?
more, yeah.
So that ties it in more too. So then it differentiates as, hey, this is not Halcyon.
Yeah.
Everything else in the building is pretty much there. We do more of like a cupola or an extended one, like a barn would say,
Barn,
right?
yeah.
Something
Yep.
like that.
That
What
makes
about
sense.
even just changing the material?
Or the color,
Yeah, like doing like a rustic.
So that
like
it
a
brown
pops-
hunter
there.
so that
green
it
or
pops a little
something.
bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we can say,
Well, we want to nod to Milton. We want to.
yeah, correct, right? Like the
Yeah.
Iron Horse out front. You know what I mean?
Right.
Do something like that, and then just pop that up. Maybe put like some crosses on it, something like that. Say, hey, look, this is a little bit more because you got all the elements there of it, right?
Yeah.
So there's really, I don't mind anything else with that. But I think that would change up. You could even change the color of that.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know? And then that kind of creates that, you know, everyone talks about like the Milton way, right? Or, you know, to me, that would just kind of be the the cursor that ties it in. Right?
Makes sense.
So that was really my only recommendation of that.
Can you scroll down so I can see where this is located on the key plan?
Yeah, sure.
So what we're seeing is right near the entrance.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah, where they have the little black arrow that's kind of showing that perspective, correct?
Yeah, that's right.
Change the color, or maybe flip the siding on the top to go, I don't know, change that so it's not all vertical.
Yeah. A little more
Siding
variation.
orientation?
Yeah.
Yeah, what do you have down there that's like the iron ore color? What is that?
Stucco.
Oh, that's stucco?
I'm kidding. It's not allowed.
What's that?
It's not allowed. I'm kidding.
I mean,
They're fiber cement panels.
you got to
Yeah.
miss every once in a while. You know what I mean?
I was watching, I could hear Bob. Yeah. Yeah. No, fiber cement panels down
Cool. I agree with you. I think maybe just break that up. But that was really only my, because you could still do the same concept of letting that light in, like, you know, but we're
Could we break up that window maybe and like, instead of
Over the-
it being
over the
long and
top.
linear,
Yeah.
just like, I don't know.
like a triangle kind of.
Or like do like multiple rectangle windows or something. It's something about it that's very contemporary. It reads very contemporary.
You do want a place for that signage, though.
Yeah.
You gotta
You're right, right.
Could just make it 3 small square windows, but a space
Yeah,
in between
maybe
them.
square.
Break them up.
Well, you can almost put like a mullion
Yes.
between them, kind of like they're
Like
doing
space
it
them
to
out.
mimic the width of that door below, right?
Yeah.
With the side lights and the transom and everything. So you could almost just have a little bit larger mullion in between the window just to kind of spread it
Yeah,
out.
more like a barn.
Yeah. Exactly. Okay.
Makes sense.
Can we go to the other side too?
Yeah.
We had right there.
This one.
Can we zoom in on that a little bit?
Yeah, I think we have one. Yeah.
Oh yeah, there you go. Perfect. Yeah.
So here, this one I did have a question. It looks like the seating is recessed from the pavers and the rest of, am I
Yeah, it
seeing that
actually-
correctly?
It's both. So you can kind of see, I'll go to the plan. It might be easier to explain. So the overhang is really kind of half of that patio. So the patio goes out beyond those columns. So you have seating that's covered and seating that's not.
Okay. And then is the seating on a different elevation than say the sidewalk, the walk? Yeah. It looks like
Down.
it's
Looks recessed.
I think it's just the way that the landscape's done, but it's all on the same elevation there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then I was thinking about stairs and
No. Yeah.
The hanging baskets are nice, man.
everything.
I mean, again, like I said, just those extra details that this has that
It's true.
Is that I-beam? Is that a metal I-beam that's going across?
Yeah. I mean, that's what we're looking at right now for,
Which
yeah,
is
across.
consistent on a lot of.
yeah, it just ties in each
Yeah.
one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Those
So
are the things too, is
it's
just
just
bring
little
that to that
pieces.
final, right? That on that, to have that kind of delineated out, shown and all
Yeah.
that. So
Those little arms look kind of dinky.
The brackets.
I don't even know if you need them, man.
I know.
I don't
Okay.
need them either.
See, we're saving money.
Cut out one 4x4.
You did it with the cupola too. I think.
Yeah, but you got to paint it. You got nails. You got to get labor. I mean, it adds up. So, okay. What else?
Can you zoom in? What am I seeing beyond the covered seating?
Yeah. So let me go back a page. Two maybe. So actually what happens is it's 2 restaurants that are in there.
Hmm.
And so in order to delineate the restaurants, we've broken up the roof just slightly in the way that the patio works as well. So while the shed continues on the clear store kitchen, the paddock gets a flatter roof over that outdoor seating area. Correct, there will be, yeah, yep.
What else?
Do we have to worry about signage? I think I asked.
Not at this point, no.
Yeah,
I asked last night, and I don't think sign review board does signage. It's BZA, right?
We might,
If there's a variance.
Yeah, I think as long as it meets the code, then we don't necessarily need to look at. we
Does
don't
all
have
the
to look at it.
signage that they have currently?
have
need
to.
It won't come to you. It'll
Yeah,
just
it'll
get
come to
reviewed
them, but-
internally, yeah.
But we're
These
gonna
are
do
just-
a master signage plan.
yeah.
If you like, we can present it.
Okay.
It does integrate, I think you should.
I want everything to be seen so that it gets used and people are attracted to it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I
Well, and
think,
wayfinding is a big thing too.
yeah.
I don't know, I'm assuming you
Yeah.
guys will have wayfinding signs and.
Oh, yes, throughout the site.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they want people to come here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, it helps so. Well, you say that, but then there's a lot of developments that skip on it. And
Well, but there's that, we're getting off topic, but that's that balance between what they're allowed to do and what they want to do. You know what I mean? So, but I think that the city and staff has done a really good job of trying to work with and understanding that. Okay.
Last-
Can we move on to A and B, or, excuse me, building D?
Yeah.
Okay. I think, I mean, you almost mimicked the references on this one. And then that two-story kind of break between both architectural styles and then also, you know, you said was a civic space and then, you know, retail or restaurant or whatever this is over here. I think it's a really good job. It offsets it a little bit, so it's not just one giant flat plane. The use of materials, the color palette, I mean, everything, the details, but you still like, even with that bump out on that brick with the dentals and stuff up at the top, it just ties back into that building A and B, right? The arch and the arches, the true radiuses with the soldier course and it's recessed back with steel. I mean, this is just a great, you know, anyway. Yeah, so you have lights on this one, you have lights on the other one too, so just make sure you bring
Yeah,
those
for
back
that.
to us.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like all the corbelling that you.
Mhm.
What is the civic space going to be used for?
the cities,
Could be-
It could be visitor center, it could be office space for the city.
Okay.
But they said it would be public restrooms too? Did I miss
If you have
that?
a recommendation,
It was that?
it wouldn't be a bad idea to get it back to your council members.
yeah. They're just basically providing it for the city,
Yeah.
you know, to utilize, which is super nice.
Was that an incentive?
Yes. But even then, it's like, what I like about it is they're not even going, so yeah, they're giving these incentives, but they're not necessarily even like up to 65%. They could do like, you know, residential or whatever, but they're 56, 58, something like that. So they're not even maxing it out, but they're still contributing these incentives. So, was there any other questions, any other comments about the building D from you guys? Are y'all good? Pretty much burned out for the night.
Well, I liked it. I'm not burned out. I like that. I could do this all night.
Okay.
Thanks.
You did
Appreciate it,
good.
Joe.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, y'all.
All right. So, do we have any other questions, comments, concerns?
I had
Or
a
the
question
applicant? Yeah, go ahead.
about, so the existing two large commercial buildings that are there, are they getting any type of work done? Are they getting a facelift? Oh, here we go.
Pressure wash.
Hello, everyone. My name is Guido Barbagallo. My family has owned the building since 2019. And we're very excited about this process and how it's been going. I want to thank you guys for taking your time. I know it's late, but your feedback here is crucial to providing something that really the community wants. And we've worked with Bob almost 4 years to get to this point. Yeah, believe it or not, 4 years, a whole Deerfield form-based code changed, and I think we're seeing the result of it, right? We're seeing something that everyone can get excited about, and you guys nailed it. The next step is what really matters, and it's the site furnishing, site signage, and all of those details that really turn this into a place that fits in Milton, right? That is contextual, that is intentional, and that is surgical in a way that every single detail up to the columns of the townhomes, right? So I thank you guys for providing that and getting us excited to that next point. Regarding the office component, our idea and our whole goal through this whole redevelopment is to change and activate that space and bring it back to be a very good commercial base for the city of Milton, right? And all of this mixed-use project works in conjunction with each other. The offices work, if the retail works, the retail works, if the multifamily works, all of that, they play with each other. So we are in the process of revitalizing the office. It is a little dated in one of the buildings as it was done way back when. So there will be some lobby remodeling, elevator landings remodeling, and all of that corridor common area will be remodeled through this process as well. And who knows, in the future, if this project is successful enough, maybe the ground floor gets activated in a different way, right? And we really, truly see a mixed-use project where the office does, flow into that open space, which would be the ideal goal here. So, yeah, and just one thing about the comments regarding the townhomes that they don't have a front yard. This is their front yard, right?
Yeah.
That's the whole point of it, right? It's that the people in the townhomes can use this as their backyard, their front yard, not only this space, but the space throughout the project. It's not dedicated to one single area. Our goal is not to just say, you're just in the townhomes, you're just in the multifamily. You're part of this whole branded experience that we're trying to create here. So thank you, guys.
Thank you. Thank you. Yep.
The interior will be.
Yep. So, any more comments or questions for the?
My concern still remains about the parking for the multifamily. That's still a concern that I have. I'm not saying we need 1,400 spaces, but I think that they need to know they can pull in and have a spot. So maybe some dedicated parking. That's just my recommendation.
Could you say after 5 p.m., this is for residents?
Possibly. I think there needs to be something that's designated for them. But some people work from home. I mean, that's the thing. It's not everyone works outside of their home.
I think that I think you've got a valid point, but I also think that being private enterprise, that they're going to find out very quickly if they have issues with people, parking and stuff, and it becomes a common concern for people looking to move there, that there's not, I think that they could very well just easily put in some signs that says reserved parking, right? I don't know, is that something that we
the
have?
ordinance? Does that have to be worked out?
I don't know, that's a great
Development?
question, but I think that's a great question for staff. I think it's just the number of parking spots. I don't think it necessarily suggests the number of reserved or residential versus commercial parkings. Is that correct? Okay. But I agree with you. It would definitely be a concern of mine if I was buying it, so. All right, what else? Any other question? The only thing I have to say is thank you guys. Obviously, this is the first one coming in, as Bob mentioned. So please don't think that we're taking this out on you guys personally. This obviously is going to be the city's baby of what could be, right? So you're going to be under the scrutiny a little bit more. But I think what you guys have brought to resembles kind of the idea, the characteristic, the flow, the look, and the desire of this destination Deerfield that the city has spent so much time on and obviously has worked with you on as well for quite some time. And so obviously we're going to come with a little bit more critique on that. You know, that being said, this board is being tasked obviously with the architectural portion of it. There's a lot of the outs and ins that we don't really get privy to or even want to have privy to as far as the development is concerned. But I think what you guys have brought is on the right track. Hopefully we've given you enough comments, questions, feedback on kind of when you do come back for that final of what exactly we're going to be kind of asking more questions for. And then obviously we'll get into even more detail into there too, but you're on the right track and we appreciate you guys bringing this because this is what we think is the first of a lot more to come as far as this entire area and attribute to the city of Milton. So thank you guys for that. Just the way that you integrated the existing buildings with the infrastructure that you had to deal with them. So, you know, with the lake and the retention pond and the sewer and the parking, the trees, we'd love to see those existing trees, I think are key to this project. And you guys have done a really good job of doing that. So, anything else? No? So seeing no more questions for the applicant, I'll open it up for public comment.
We do have one public comment. Liliana Medina would like to speak about this agenda item.
Sure. Good evening. Thank you for your patience.
No, I'm glad I made it. Thank you so much. I'm one of the residents for Villages of Devonshire. We're right on Deerfield Parkway. And I'm here to just advocate for nature, for keeping habitat. Where the buildings are located, there's those townhouses that face right now on Deerfield. So I guess they're gonna build more townhouses behind that. So that piece of land that's right, those trees, I've seen deer come out of there. So I'm just saying, please consider keeping something somewhere for them because they're gonna we should really have a deer crossing sign because they live there, they breed there. The other reason I'm here is if this is going to be considered, and from what I'm seeing, it will be, we're gonna need a traffic signal for turning left and right because when you're coming from Webb Road, from Highway 9, and then you got the Target strip mall, you're going that direction. If that's gonna be the main entrance, we need a turning signal. Right now, it's just people wait until you can make a quick left. And I've seen accidents there. That's really gonna be critical for safety purposes. With regards to the tree preservations, I wanna thank you, David and Ken, for pushing that topic because the thing about Milton and Alpharetta is called nature and beauty. We integrate.
Ma'am, you can just.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, towards us, please.
I'm sorry.
Okay, thank you.
So it's important that we contain, retain, and I think even add more shrubbery to the entrance because from the drawings that I saw, everything's gone. You know, if you see what was built at the corner of Webb Road and Deerfield called Millstone Park, there are no trees anymore. That was nothing but shrubbery. But I'm just saying, as a comparison, if we can keep some type of setback and have more trees, and I mean, beautification is easy. A landscaping committee can do that. And then the other thing was I took a picture of, there's just pine trees behind the Chevron gas station right now that if you drive by, you see pine trees right behind them. That doesn't let you see the buildings in the back, right? So when you're jogging, you're walking your dog, you don't imagine seeing, you don't see it because it's set back, it's low rise building in our neighborhood. So by keeping, I'm requesting to be considered, the trees behind the Chevron, they're there and it would help maintain the privacy of their homes and not having to see a 6-story building, because right now you don't see it,
Mhm.
because the trees help. And then last but not least, with regards to garbage, because I heard the comment that we're gonna have restaurants there, it's being considered. I don't know how many restaurants, I don't know the operating hours, which means it's gonna have a lot of waste. And this is a photograph of the restaurant now, which is in that strip mall where that Mexican restaurant is. But I guess they all go to on the right side on Webb Road. And this was me driving by. It was left open. And when it's food, it's slanted. So when you're walking your dog and it's a rainy day, all that drifts into the sidewalk. You have to walk through it. If that can be considered, like you mentioned earlier, Mr. Warlick, that in Avalon, they have a building that's still, it's a step towards the right direction than just having these gates that are left open by the trash pickup. Because, everyone's in a rush. But if they can take an extra step to make sure that that odorous thing is covered in a building, closed building, that would help because it's necessary. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Just a couple comments on that. The beauty about this board and the planning commission and, and then ultimately the city council, and then all the planning that the city has done with this destination Deerfield has taken every single bit of that into account. As far as the wooded area between your townhomes and the proposed townhomes, that's we were kind of talking about the stream earlier. There's a 75-foot buffer on either side of that, where you have a 150-foot buffer that's a do not disturb, right? And that's not only just a city, but it's a state ordinance as well. And so I think they've done a good use of that. I believe the pine trees behind the Chevron there's an existing parking lot on the back side of that I feel like was staying correct, was remaining the same. So, but I appreciate your comments on those things. I think we talked about a lot of that. And that's also too, is I think that it's, admirable of them coming to us now for just this courtesy review, because these are the things that we're going to kind of take feedback from the citizens and then utilize those when it actually comes down to the final kind of actual review and approval, if it gets to that, to move this thing forward. So thank you very much for that. Is there any more public comment?
No further public comment.
Okay, so no further public comment, then I will close public comment and any board discussion. No? We talked about a lot tonight.
Yeah.
Do we need to go through every bit of that, or did you guys get enough notes? I know they did, right? We're okay, so we can just say, based on our comments tonight, we can make a motion to recommend
Yes.
these items for the courtesy review.
Yes.
Then that's what I'm going to do. So I will make a motion for the recommendations made tonight by the board for 7A U25-3 VC 25-01 1301 Morris Road for the courtesy review of the buildings, the site, the placement, and the architectural aspects of this development.
I will second.
So we have a motion for the recommendations and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
It's unanimous. Okay. All right.
Include all of your recommendations in the action report, and I'll just put them all in writing and I'll email them to you to review
Okay.
as well.
Okay. Thank you. That was a daunting task, but I appreciate it. Okay. So thank y'all very much. We're going to try to get out of here. So next, no final reviews, no new business, no old business. Can I get a motion for adjournment?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
A second.
We have a motion for adjournment and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, everyone.